I get off RuneScape? You won't need it, right?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Are we good to
Okay.
go?
Uh, once. Let me see if I can do this. Uh, yep. We're good to go.
You can see my screen and everything?
Yes.
It's all good? If I start...
Yes.
Okay, if I write something here, can you see that?
Hello.
Cool.
Yes.
Alright. This run was absolutely hilarious. I
Thank
absolutely
you.
loved it. It was excellent. There are definitely some things we could definitely look at and go over, and I think it's amazing that someone told you to use that main stack on wave 4 and 5, and then it just goes completely tits. So I can, as soon as I see it, I'm like, why is he using that main stack? And then I see the result of using that main stack, and I'm like, this is... Who said to do this? I've never heard of something. Why would you intentionally want this to happen? It was quite bizarre.
No, I didn't want that to happen, but sometimes it happens.
The runners merged into each other
Yes.
both
Did you
times.
see that? Uh-huh.
I was like,
Did you see that?
"What's going on? Why are you doing this?"
Mhm.
Alright,
He told me to do that only when the collector blocks, if I
only when the
remember correctly.
collector
This is,
blocks.
yeah, the Westie. Do this. It's faster. It's like you
Okay,
can.
but you know
That was, but I
the
forgot.
collector's not
I
gonna
forgot.
block in a leech on wave
Mm-hmm,
4 or
mm-hmm,
5, especially not wave 5, not ever.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So
I don't know. Like I'm gonna go over with Kuro on this. Like
I
I
mean,
don't know
I'm
what
interested to hear it myself. It sounds
happened.
like if you use that main stack when the runner's blocked, it probably prevents a crash.
Mm,
Anyway, whatever. We'll move on.
mm,
We'll start the video, shall we? I've
mm,
muted the
okay,
sound because I was listening to some music,
okay.
so it's gonna be quiet. Wave 1, I think, was fine. Oh no, it wasn't fine. Now, do you
Why?
see why it's not fine at all?
Because I walked up and then went to main stack.
No, I don't give a fuck about that right now. The main thing
Yeah.
here
Uh,
is it's wave 1, something for wave 1. As you can see, if we look here, the first runner here. Actually, I'll end up putting my camera down a bit. That's way easy to see. So the first
mm,
runner has gone east, yeah? First mover
mm-hmm,
is east.
mm-hmm.
So, and then the second runner
Is also
also
east.
goes east. What does that mean? It means even though you bump this fella, this guy will
Mm-hmm.
still crash and he will die after 30 seconds. It's like 30.6 or 31 seconds, something like that. Either way, he won't
Mm-hmm.
die in time for 30 seconds
Mm-hmm.
because he crashes. So,
Mm-hmm.
specifically for wave 1, if the first two
Mm-hmm.
runners are east, you gotta run. You can see where my mouse is in the actual recording. My mouse is here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you gotta
Mm-hmm.
multi it. If it's east east
Mm-hmm.
on wave 1, you gotta multi kill it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can
Okay.
see he crashes. And if you watch the timer, I mean, fighters die, rangers die, healers are dead. So it should end
Mm-hmm.
at 30, but he dies after 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because he wasn't multied. But if you multi kill it, then he
Mm-hmm.
does die. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
wave 1 specific thing. Which is just
Okay.
like, if you know, then you know. If you don't
All
know, then
right.
you don't know.
Mm.
So yeah. East east on wave
Uh,
1, you gotta multi it.
all right.
Have a peek at wave 2. Place food, fine. You dropped your food here again. Here.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah.
Um,
That's intention.
and that's
I,
intentional, because
uh,
Kuro told you.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But he's... See,
So
I
from
don't
wave.
know the reason behind it. If you say it's because if the collector blocks, then use that main stack.
Mm,
But in leeches, collector is very rarely going to block, so there's just no point in it.
mm-hmm.
If you see what I mean, and it
It's,
actually comes and
uh,
it bites you on the arse later.
mhm. I'm gonna ask Kuro
Yeah,
about
it'd be
this
worth
main stack.
asking him. You
He
could link him
he
this
told
video.
me it. Alright, I would. He told me about it. He's like, from wave 2 until 5, use this main stack. It's faster,
Yes. So
it's better, and whatnot. And then I told him that after 2 days, I told him that I've been using this main stack, but it's causing me too much problems.
yeah. See, the
I
thing
don't
is,
remember what he said.
Kuro is a huge, big-brained, high IQ, official lawyer, absolute fucking mastermind, right? But what I
Mm,
think what sometimes what he does is he learns things and he knows things. He knows so much about Defender and how the runners work and everything, and he's theory crafted so much stuff. But sometimes it's
mm-hmm,
just like keep it simple. I think what's really important with Defender is to just keep it simple because you want to be consistent. The consistency is key. And trying to
mm-hmm,
do some fancy shit, especially when you don't need
mm,
to, it's that the fancy shit is high risk, low reward, and it's just not
yes,
worth it because it can go
mm-hmm,
tits up very easily. I
yes,
prefer it's better to go medium risk, high reward. No, not high reward. Medium risk, medium reward.
mm-hmm,
Just keep it steady. No fucking
yes,
about, no fancy bullshit. Because no one, no, like,
alright,
you run back and you've done a cool split using the cannon on, like, wave 9 or something, and you've got them, like, fucking a healer here, a healer here. It looks like a fucking starfish or some shit. And you sat there and all proud and your chest is out and you're like, oh, I'm so good. And then the healer goes, yeah, okay, that's kind of cool, fair enough. And then the next three runs, the next three wave 9s in this torso, it just complete. You try to do it again, you fuck up completely. Healer over here, healer over here, healer over here. The healer's your healer's just like, what the fuck are you doing? You absolute monkey. Like, just keep him here, bro. Like, you can do this fancy shit. I don't care. I just want to kill the healers. I want the healers layered.
yeah,
All this fancy shit, you can start doing like 6 months from now. You can start looking at it and start fucking about with it if you like. It's way
mm-hmm,
more important to just be consistent. I make the same mistakes.
mm-hmm,
I start trying to do fancy shit with a cannon, and then I end up just
mm-hmm,
stacking every healer here, and I'm just like, I'm such an
mm-hmm.
idiot. Like I could have just stayed at the wall and done nothing, and the healer would have been perfectly fine. Why am I taking it to cannon? It's just
Yeah,
it's not worth it a lot of the time.
mm-hmm,
It's a lot of fannying about. Anyway,
mm-hmm.
so
But like,
that
to
was
be
so
honest,
clutch. Did you see that? Blocking that
mm,
runner there was so clutch.
I tried to block it here. I'm like, okay, I'm like, fuck.
I mean, at least
I
you
didn't
got it.
block.
That is good that you got it. So it's all fine. You did a lot of stumbling about though, which was kind of what. I mean, you missed the hammer
Mm-hmm.
somehow. How do you walk onto the hammer but not pick it up?
I have
That's
no idea.
incredible. You didn't even have any eggs to
I
do it.
always,
It's like you
I
left clicked on
always
the
do
hammer and then went, actually, I don't want the hammer. And then you back. And then, oh shit, wait, actually, I do need it.
that.
A lot of fannying.
That's the problem. I always do it. This is not like I do it once, twice. No, I always fucking do it. Like I might like I
It
click it. I see that red X, right?
yeah.
And then I just walk away. I just click off it, just click off it. I'm like,
Dude, I mean, I'm not gonna
why?
pretend like I don't do the same every now and then, and it's fucking AIDS. You waste so much time and you take
Mm,
healers everywhere just because you think you picked up the hammer, but you moved way too quickly. And it don't
mhm.
matter. You do a bit of bump cars here on absolutely nothing. Like there's nothing here. There's nothing here, and it's like you're playing pinball. You go up and down. What's and then you stood here
um,
and you place food here, and then he don't repair trap in time, and then he eats. The trap's not
You
repaired.
you know you know why? It's because I was waiting for the call. He didn't call. I was waiting for his
Then
call.
then
I
don't
couldn't.
then just then don't. Why
Uh-huh.
do you expect the healer to call second call anyway? I mean, usually
Yeah.
they will out of habit, but realistically, they expect
Mm.
you to have placed 3 food first call.
I did, but I'm like sometimes I do these stupid mistakes. Like I try, just like you said, I try to be fancy, and then I fuck up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody gives a fuck about fancy. No one actually
Yeah.
gives a fuck. They just want you to get your lures and not fuck about.
hmm And
Medium
by the way,
risk, medium reward. Go on.
why was I like bumping air and
I
whatnot
think
while
it's because
coming back
I
to stuff?
imagine I
Because
can't
I
see
was,
your clicks, but I imagine it's because
yeah,
your clicks are just all
spamming.
over the place.
Yes, I'm spamming.
Yeah, you probably
I
are
was
spamming,
spamming.
and so you're
Mhm.
clicking on different squares.
Mhm.
Now, usually, like if you want to place, I mean, I do it every single wave too. If you want to place you place your first food here, but then for the last runner you place a food here for him. If you're at logs and like if you just you place or like if you didn't fuck about here at the hammer
Mhm.
with
Mhm.
by accident, like shit, it happens. If you would have had enough time, you do have enough time to place this north west food at the end, still in the first
Mhm.
call. You can be back at
Mhm.
trap at like 27, 28 seconds and be able
Mhm.
to place that food because you only need one hammer. And you don't
Mhm.
actually like. You can take these healers all the way to logs if you want on wave 2. It doesn't matter because these healers
Yeah.
die super quickly. You don't need to unlure them.
Mhm.
Yeah, if that shit here didn't happen, which is unfortunate, you would have been in trap in time too. As soon as you see him chomp, drop a food and place it,
Mhm.
and you would have been fine.
I'm too used to doing that. It's out of habit. But since I fucked up at hammer,
But like
that's
even
why I was late.
to be fair, placing a food here at the end, it's actually just a fancy thing. And to be honest, I would say it's just not worth it. Like it is actually
Mhm.
just not worth it.
All right.
Until you get super fucking comfortable where you've played an insane amount of defender runs and you're just doing it out of muscle memory.
Mhm.
Like it's considered a fancy thing. The
Mhm.
reward for that is incredibly low, but you can still cock it
Mhm.
up just from misclicks which happen. Like it's whatever. It's whatever really. I'm not too worried about that. It was just a bit. I mean, I could put it down to nerves probably.
Mhm.
The early was a bit scuffed, but I mean, you knew I was watching and I was recording, so maybe. Oh, you placed it. Oh, that main stack is triggering the shit out of me. Look at this. Look. Do you see why it's so fucking terrible? If the first runner goes west and the second runner goes south, you literally merge them together. It is, and then how are you gonna anti-multi that? And also, they're not even eating the food at the same tick. Look at that. So you get late. Not only was the first runner west, so you get a late runner spawn, but they don't even die at the same time. It's incredibly shit. Stop using that main stack. Fuck
All right.
Kuro. Stop using that bloody main stack. He's like the only bloody person who does that main stack. He did this. He found this like thing which you can do on wave 4, so that you can always finish 4:42 seconds in a leech or whatever. Like even if the
Mhm.
last runner goes west, you can always finish at 42 seconds or some shit like that. I don't know. He's the only person who does that. He is literally the only person who does that. He does these things. Only he does it, and he might say to people, "Oh, it's good and whatever." It's for people who are learning Defender, especially. It's just too much fannying about for low reward, in my opinion.
Mhm.
That is not something you should be focusing on. It's not something I should be focusing on. And I've been
Mhm.
playing Defender for over a fucking year. It's not something I should even be thinking about. Something wave 3 here, I think I've mentioned this to you before, something you can do. So it was a bit of a cock-up because of that main stack, and it's super shit, and it's gone completely tits up. Oh well, whatever. Right, it's still fine. It's not the end of the world. The last two runners on wave 3, you can see this is the third runner. This third runner's east. He actually went west, but I think he was blocked by him. So it still counts as an east because he was blocked. He still counts as an east, so you can treat it as if he was an east runner. If this one goes east like this, and then the last one goes south, instead of multiing it, you can just place the food here, or here, or here. And you don't have to multi it. This runner will see the food you placed here, here, or here. But
the last runner won't see it.
He won't see it. He'll still target either the food here or the food here. So you don't have to multi it. It just... that's something that's worth doing, simply because you can cock up a multi-kill, but you cannot cock up putting a food here. It's way easier. I mean, especially like this, when he's doing shit like this. Like, it's just because there's a risk there that you can miss the multi-kill, and then you can completely remove that risk by just dropping food there. That only works for east-south. So if the third goes east, then the fourth goes south. Yeah, anyway, good multi, it's all fine. You got cooked up by that main stack. But oh well, it's whatever.
Two more waves of that main stack.
It really shows in wave 4 and 5 because you know logging. Because you know logging, you want to do 1-3, you want to do 1-4, but you literally can't because you use this main stack. You're there trying to anti-multi that shit. I'm fucking laughing. I'm actually... Do you hear that? Do you... In the video. And it went so tits up.
I'm waiting for the
yeah. This idiot over here is forcing, and you're waiting for the next fucking runner. So funny, and it's like 18 seconds of just nothing. I'm there. I'm right clicking. I'm like, where the fuck's the runner? I'm like, oh, he's not spawned. This fucking idiot's forcing.
I'm like, fuck it, let me multi these guys. As soon as I multi these spawns, I'm like, what the fuck?
So fucking funny. So funny, it's unreal. I'm dying. And then Blurgs. Oh no! It's too fucking perfect. It is too perfect. You're there, you're going, George, I want to prove to you I can be that OP defender. Just give me more time. I can be so fucking good. It's so hilarious. So fuck that main stack. Fuck that main stack. If you use the share main stack, this main stack here, this one I've got marked here, that's referred to as the share main stack, named after the person Share. I think they're a girl. Doesn't matter. But yeah, if you use that main stack, and you tried to anti-multi, it would have worked. So it's good that you anti-multi. I like that you know about that, and it's good. And
you taught me it.
Yeah. Okay. That's because I'm smart as shit. No, I'm joking. I didn't know how to respond to that. Oh, stop using that fucking main stack. Mate, you can hear my reaction to it. I'm listening to music. You can hear my reaction. Oh, stop using that fucking main stack. I got mad as shit. I actually got mad. Because it's so fucked. It's so fucked.
Motherfuckers.
Oh, I just tried to call with a horn by accident in a video. Yeah, it's so fucked. I'm just gonna skip this wave 5. There's no point in me even
Mhm.
So fucked. I typed to Fardo, this is bloody excellent. Because it is. It's hilarious. Let's carry on. Okay, the good waves.
Mm.
I think there's something that happens in this wave 6.
I'm late.
Are you? Let me think. Oh, I
Mhm.
think you are, yeah. I think
Mhm.
I remember. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know why you walked north. That's definitely because you placed your food and then you just clicked somewhere in the general direction of
Mhm.
west just so to get your
Mhm.
character going, and then you correct onto the main
Mhm.
stack. That's good.
Mhm.
The only issue there is if you do click a bit too north and west, then you walk up north first. It is good.
Mhm.
You can try click more west if you're gonna do that, but I mean that's being picky. The only shit thing was that you actually wasted too much time placing food, which is a
Mhm.
shame. I mean, it does happen. Misclicks happen.
I'm
Otherwise,
trying
you're
to
fine.
place 5 food, but I
Why?
missed it. I'm like, fuck
Why?
this. I hmm?
Why? Why 5 food?
Oh, because it's OP.
No, it's
Because
no,
it's
it's not. No, for
because
wave five, for wave five, it's
mhm.
good.
Mhm.
Wave but that's it. Every other wave, no, just place 4. It's what you
Okay.
can literally just place 3. If you're in time at logs and stuff, for most runner permutations, placing 3 you will still be fine. However,
Mhm.
I highly recommend just stick with 4. Definitely don't do 5
All right.
though.
Okay.
Only do 5 on wave 5 if you're comfortable with
All
it.
right. Mhm.
Don't do it on wave 6. It's completely fucking unnecessary. And you'll see, like, you place 5 food at the trap, how many runners actually die in the first call? Like 2. It's either
Mhm.
1 or 2. So there's just no point in placing 5 at all.
Mhm.
Don't place 5. Because then it's that risk thing again. Like you want to
Mhm.
place all this 5 food here, but then you risk being late to main stack, and that's you just don't want that. And then you had a shit main stack delay because you were late to main stack,
Mhm.
if it's because of this 5 food, yeah, I'll stop talking, and then you even late to logs because of it. 5 food, no, don't do it. It's not necessary at all. It's super overkill. Only 2 fucking runners died. It's the second call. Only 2 runners
Mhm.
died. 5 food, no, why? No point. Fixed trap, 2-3-1. That's fine because I mean you were late to main stack, so 2-3-1's fine. What I would be doing here, so wave 6, you expect a healer to spawn at 42 seconds, which is
Mhm.
when you multi here, yeah. So you
Mhm.
expect a healer to spawn now. If a but I mean this guy didn't get the reserve out. Oh well, doesn't
Mhm.
matter. That's not your problem. If you did have a healer spawn here, you wouldn't have time to repair the trap
Yeah.
and then move here. Otherwise,
Mhm.
he'd end up here, right? So you would just leave the
Mhm.
trap broken and let him
Mhm.
go here, yeah?
Mhm. And then wait for the healer to come back, block it. That's when I repair.
Yeah,
I
excellent.
know that I'm supposed to drop a good foot under me before
So,
the multi tick. I pick it up by 3 seconds. I pick it up, have the runner behind me. That's when I repair, drop a foot, and go back to the
yeah,
notch.
excellent. That's great. So now, something. Here's a little trick you can do, which will help for the healer. I don't think you can. You can't really see it in this wave 6 because he had late reserves, and of how it
Mhm.
was. But for the last healer, what you can do once you've multied here and you repair the trap, for the
Mhm.
last healer or the last 2 healers, you can drop food either here or here.
Mhm.
It's usually for the last runner to eat. The reason
Mhm.
being, if the healer spawns usually if everything goes right, will be at 42 seconds and 48 seconds, right? And if everything's
Mhm.
gone right for you as a defender, you'll have this 42-second healer here, and then you want to get this 48 healer here, right? Because
Mhm.
you'd move here, and then
Mhm.
your nice little healer will be blocking here and spamming these two,
Mhm.
yeah? Right?
Mhm.
If that, what happens if that 48 healer doesn't aggro onto you, and he aggroes onto the friendly healer here, and then just fucks off somewhere? I mean, it does happen, right? This 48
Mhm.
healer, it's 50-50 chance. Half the time,
Yeah.
statistically, it's going to go on this
Mhm.
healer, and then shit RNG kicks in, and he buggers off somewhere, goes to logs, and it's
Mhm.
all just tits up. Something you can do, which doesn't always work, it's not a 100% thing, but it does work probably half the time, maybe more often than half the time, which is excellent. If you just drop the food here or here for the last healer, well, what can happen is the 48-second healer that spawns, he'll go here, poison our healer, but then this last one will be like either here or here eating this food around here, right?
Mhm.
And he will, because of how healers work, they'll poison a player and then they'll heal a
Try
runner,
to.
yeah?
Mhm.
He'll aggro onto the runner that's eating the food here, and you'll basically
Mhm.
re-lure him, and then you'll keep
Mhm.
this like split here and here. Does that make any
Mhm.
sense?
Yes, it does.
That's something you can start looking into doing. What also that
Uh,
also does is, so you know, if a runner's an if you if it's an east runner then a south runner, then the south runner will crash, yeah, unless this
yes.
east runner gets bumped. And if he
Mhm.
crashes, he'll hard crash. So he could
Mhm.
move west. If he crashes west, then he won't be able to see the trap food, walk back to main
Mhm.
stack, eat at main stack, then
Waste.
come back to trap, yeah?
Mhm.
If on wave 6 the 5th runner is east and then the 6th runner is south, obviously you can't bump him. I'm getting Discord
Mhm.
messaged a lot. I'm just going to ignore it. Obviously you can't bump him, so you risk
Mhm.
this south runner crashing, then walking west, then walking back to main stack, wasting like 20 fucking seconds of time, yeah? If you
Mhm.
place the food here, this east runner, instead of eating the food here, will eat the food here or here.
Mhm.
What effectively that means is the east
One
runner
tick
will
late.
eat at the food one tick later. Sorry for the
Mhm.
voice crack. That east runner will eat at the trap one tick later, which will effectively act as if you bumped him. So it will
Mhm.
prevent the south runner from hard crashing,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So you can start thinking about that as well.
All right.
Wave 6 is it can be it's definitely a hard wave. I mean,
Mhm.
this
It's the
guy,
hardest wave.
I personally don't like this guy at all. Just gonna throw that out there. I think he's an absolute knob. But whatever. Don't know why he's lowering the healers, but okay. This guy is a perfect example of high risk for high reward.
Mhm.
Everything he does is high risk, high reward. The only thing is, he never gets the high reward. That's just my personal opinion of him. I'm not here to shit talk people though. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion of that guy. But yeah,
Mhm.
wave 6 talked about a few things there. Let's carry on. Good OS call. It was meat. Nice. Nicely timed. No fannying about. Good place to place your safety food. Didn't lure the first one. Nice. That's looking good. I noticed this. Yeah. South runners. South even. And I'm pretty sure you actually know about this and you moved as if to block it, yeah?
Mhm.
Which I'm happy to see. At logs in time. Everything goes good. And then you move. You can see where my mouse is and you move to the
Mhm.
exact spot. So you obviously know that you need to be blocking that if that guy went west, which is nice to see.
Mhm.
Now, what happened here? I just remembered now. So he there in time. So you want to do 1-3-2, yeah? So you want to multi.
Mhm.
Each one is here. This guy, absolute fucking brute, pushing all your runners out the way. Fucking boom,
Mhm.
boom. Gives no
He always does
fucks.
that.
Gives no fucks whatsoever. He actually bumped the runners so much that if you multi, like, they won't multi at the same time.
Mhm.
If it was me, I remember thinking this at the time of the recording, but you can see he pushed them so fucking hard. They're never gonna multi, so you just
Mhm.
don't. You just multi
Mhm.
this next guy. Again, nah, fuck that. I'm not gonna bother risking that. Trying to
Mhm.
multi for that is very risky.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it's
Mhm.
bumped so fucking hard. It's very risky.
Mhm. Mhm.
So there's literally just no point. Just multi the next runner.
Mhm.
Take the safe option. Do the more consistent option. Multi the
Okay.
next one. Say fuck that. I mean, you did. If
Mhm.
you were trying to multi it, you actually
Mhm.
moved at the wrong time. If you were going to multi it, if you notice, because you can use the timer to multi kill, right?
Mhm.
4 bumped runners. I'll say this every single time. 4 bumped runners use the timer to multi kill. As soon as you see
Mhm.
shit like this, if you're gonna go
Mhm.
for the multi kill, just use the timer. Don't try and do it visually. As you can see, you try to do it
Mhm.
visually, and you try like
Mhm.
multi this runner visually, and it goes tits up.
Mhm.
If you were
Mhm.
going to try and multi it, you would multi it. If you're looking at the timer, you'd move now.
Right now. Mhm.
Now I don't think it would actually work because I think this guy was he was bumped
Mhm.
too much, so I don't think he'd actually eat. Which is why I'm like, I personally would just multi the next one. But if he was just like
Okay.
kind of bumped, like not massively bumped, kind of bumped, and I saw he was kind of bumped, just use the timer every single
Right.
time. Like you're gonna get healers that do that. Like
Mhm.
okay, it's their fault for fucking hard bumping it. However, there's no point sitting there crying when you miss the multi and go, well, he hard
Mhm.
bumped my runner. Like, just multi the next one. Or use the
Mhm.
timer if it's not so bad.
All right.
Like, yes, it's his fault. However, there's still something you can do about it. And if you're not
Mhm.
doing that thing that you can do about it, like the safe option, then you're still partly to blame.
Mhm.
There's no point having a hissy fit about it. Shit happens. And look at that. This guy even crashed. Oh, he fucked you so hard there. But it would have been perfectly
That's right.
fine if you just didn't attempt the multi and you
All
multi the
right.
next one. It would have been fine.
Mhm.
You place a food up here. I think your recovery is okay. I'm hoping you also placed another food. You did. Excellent. I think your recovery there is fine. And why is he luring? Why is the attacker? Fuck off. You, if he was on you, you split that fine, and that was fine.
I was actually mad at him. He stole my lure. I was so pissed.
Dude, I mean, it's
Mhm.
whatever. Shit happens. If it was a fun, then sure, cool, good for him. But this wasn't a fun. This was for purely learning purposes. Do you know about splitting on wave 7 3 healers using the cannon?
Yes. Yes.
And are you good? Are you fine with it?
I'm still learning it. I'm getting used to it.
It's. I mean, I struggled with it. I still kind of struggle every now and then. I talked to True Knight about it a lot. He basically told
Mm.
me uh, it's kind of like a rhythm. I've always wanted to get the squares marked, but I never fucking marked the squares.
I have them marked. I can show it to you.
Well, I mean, I'm fine with it now.
Hmm.
I can do it now. Like, I know the square. I don't like marking my squares because
Hmm.
um, it looks too messy. To
I
me
love
personally,
marking my
I've
square.
marked the main stack. I've got two squares here marked, right? You see these two squares here?
Hmm.
I've only marked them ever since I started doing Trials one log method, just so I have this square marked. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. That's too fucking
Hmm.
complicated. Anyway, wave 8.
Wave 8 might be my best wave.
If this was a fun, you could one log this.
Hmm.
Do you know anything about one logging?
Yes.
Do you know like when you can and when you can't?
No.
So you can look visually. In leeches, always grab two logs because you need to leave the logs at
Hmm.
the right time, right? But you do play
Hmm.
funds, right, every now and then.
Yeah.
What you can do is, if you just look visually, so I see this second runner goes west.
Hmm.
So I think, what does that mean? Well, he's going to go here, then he's going to go to main stack, then he's going to go to trap. Basically
Hmm.
meaning he's going to be eating at the trap late.
Hmm.
And I see this first one has gone south, so he's going to be eating at the trap early. So I know
Hmm.
if everything goes to plan, I'll be back at the trap in time way before this guy eats at the trap, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like, if you only grabbed one log and got back to the trap, you would have been there like a second and a half earlier, and you would have been able to block it. You basically look at permutation. I don't know why I'm getting into that. There's a whole like thing on it. There's like a massive post, and this dude's typed like written down all the permutations for when you can grab one log. Like and it's a huge list like this of just letters. I mean, these aren't. I'm just typing random letters, and
Hmm.
it's massive. It's like fucking 30. It's like, bro, I'm not remembering all of that. Are you serious? I asked people about it when I was learning it. I was like, do you actually like learn these things? And it's got no. I have a look. I just look at the runners. If the second one goes west, I know I'll be back in time. And that's
Hmm.
basically it. Anyway, it doesn't matter for leeches. Oh, I want to go back actually. So, do you look at the runners when you're defending?
Yes.
So
A lot.
you watch where they go.
Yes.
Good. What you can do is, so when I'm here and I'm MS delay,
Hmm.
I grab logs. When I see runners like this, when I see the second and third runner like this, I know they're going to auto
Hmm.
multi, right?
Hmm.
Because this one went west and this one went south. I know they're going to auto
Hmm.
multi. So I can just let them. And sometimes I will. I'll just let them
Hmm.
auto multi. So I grab the logs, I grab hammer. I see these two, they're gonna auto multi, right? So
Hmm.
I'll just be like, I tell you what, it's wave 8. I know a healer's gonna spawn at 30 seconds. I'm gonna help with spread. And
Hmm.
no, you can actually see my mouse. Like I've even doing it at the time. I would walk here, and then when this healer spawns, if he aggro's onto me, I de-aggro him instantly.
Hmm.
And I'd let these two run as auto multi. And then you'd
Hmm.
basically doing the stagger would change from, say, if you were going to do 2
3,
3
2.
2, you would end up doing 3
3, 2,
2 2,
2.
or
Yeah.
variations of this. So you could even do, so you know
Hmm.
how you can do 2 1 4 2 on wave 9.
Hmm.
You can do that for like every single wave, like wave 6, wave 7, and wave 8, you can do something like this same sort of
Mhm.
concept to get early runners out and to have your trap at 1. It's kind of complicated, but I've been doing it recently. I think once you kind of get a good understanding of it, um, it's really nice. It's very helpful. It gets you out of a lot of sticky situations. So say here, so far 3 runners have died, right? You
Mhm.
see this one south and you see this one south. You could let
Mhm.
you know if this runner eats at the trap, this one's only gonna soft crash. He won't hard crash.
Mhm.
So you can
Mhm.
actually just, once you repair trap, move out the way and let that runner eat at the trap. And what that would leave you with is you've done 3-1 and your trap is at 1, which makes it a lot easier to
Mhm.
repair, right? After you multi-kill,
Mhm.
it's easier to repair. So that's one
Mhm.
bonus, and another bonus is you get the runner reserves out basically as soon as possible. So you
Mhm.
know how only some runners will spawn if the early runners have died. If you do stuff like
Mhm.
this, then you get these runners out earlier. It's
Mhm.
very important on wave 9 for spread and like reloads. I'm talking so much, my voice is cracking. I'm hoping. Does this make sense? What I'm saying? It's
Yes, it
something you
does.
can start looking. It's something you can start looking into, which will help a lot with spreads and also just like being quicker. Like when you multi kill, if the trap's at 1, you can like you're quicker to
Insta repair it.
yeah, insta repair it,
Mhm.
place your
Mhm.
food north and shit or whatever.
Mhm.
You're just
Mhm.
quicker. It gives you more time to fanny
Mhm.
about. It's also like
Mhm.
when you first starting off and you just get slapped in the face with, okay, so on wave 8 you either do 1-4-2 or 2-3-2. You can then start experimenting. You can start doing your own sort of things and going, I could do 3-1 here, and it works because I could see that the second and third runner auto multi. I could see that I could let
Mhm.
the fourth runner die and the fifth one won't crash. Blah blah blah. It's like a nice thing, and then that also leads you to be able to blurg runners very nicely as well.
Mhm.
Because when you do a multi kill, but you put one bad food on top of the trap and you blurg a runner,
Mhm.
you can start doing that on like
Wave 8.
it's a lot easier when you do that when your trap is at 1, right?
Mhm.
If you agree. Like when your
Mhm.
trap's at 2 and you gotta wait for your trap to repair. It's easier to
Takes
do
it.
that blurg multi-kill when the trap's at 1. So when you start doing shit
Mhm.
like when you start intertwining things like letting this runner die after you repair it so the trap's at 1, you can then so I don't know what oh you placed the food. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh wait, I don't know why, because I'm too far ahead. I'm further ahead than I thought. So that's 3 dead. Then you repair the trap.
Multi 2.
You multi 2. Which, I mean, it's perfectly fine. This dude does not give a single fuck. You see him,
Yes.
he gives zero
Mhm.
fucks. He was just
Mhm.
gonna push that fucker like it was. He don't care. And look at where he's
Mhm.
standing now! Dude, this
Mhm.
guy has a death wish. This guy does not give a fuck.
Now you understand why he's
Absolute
my best
fucking
friend.
savage, dude. He's an asshole. But you know what? I love it because it really tests you. It really tests you to start landing these hard multi kills and do these harder staggering and
Mhm.
experimenting. It really fucking tests you. Now, when you place a food here, I personally don't like it being this far north and this far west.
Mhm.
I much prefer the food just to be like here. The reason being,
Mhm.
if you place the food too far north, then you bring the healers further north, right? When they get too
Mhm.
far north, they can end up, when they re-aggro onto you, getting here and then stacking
Mhm.
onto the full HP reserve. And you don't want that.
Mhm.
You want these half
Yeah.
HP healers here. You don't want them
Mhm.
stacked on this reserve because the healer wants to spam him. And that can happen if you place the food too far north. So just
Mm.
placing it here is that this is like the sweet spot. I know it's like, okay, you could place
Okay.
it here. What if I place it here? What if I place it all the way over here? And you kind of like doing something fancy, and then you like when the healer comes back and he sees a runner walk fucking here, 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 and you're like, I'm catching all of these healers, and you're like flexing. Nah, it ends up sabotaging you because you're stacking all the fucking healers here, and you don't want that.
Yes. Mhm.
So, okay, it might seem boring, and you might think, oh, I've done it about fucking 10,000 times now. I want a bit of variation. I'm not going to pretend like I don't fuck about sometimes. I place a food here. I mean, I still do it. I don't give a fuck. I still find it about. I'm experimenting. I think it's important with a role like this to experiment with stuff
Yeah.
and start
Uh
like
huh.
going, okay, so what if I did place a food here? And oh, okay, so I'll have. I mean, the reason why I know that if I place a food too far north, these half HP healers will stack it is because I've done it about 20 times, and I'll still do it, and I shouldn't. But sometimes you get bored and you don't think and you just do it. But it's easy to just keep it simple.
All right. I would like to mark that tile if you can
It,
show
it,
me
it doesn't
later.
have to be exact. It doesn't have to be here. It doesn't have to be specifically here. Wait, is my pen getting
Mm.
smaller? Why has it done that? Oh, I like a fat pen.
I know you do.
It's fine, like here or here. I mean, I guess here's fine as well. It didn't have to be specific. Just like walk
Mhm.
kind of north. Just don't walk too far north,
Mhm. All right.
and it'll be fine. I'm pretty like
Okay.
if you place a food here, a bad food here, and they blurg, I'm pretty sure. Like, I've never noticed if I blurg a runner here that they end up walking north all the way over here. I've never noticed that. They always seem to just dawdle. Like they eat a food
Mhm.
here and then they just
And
dawdle
stay
and
there.
just sit there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never
Mhm.
noticed them go north. But if you place a
Mhm.
food like a bad food here or at the trap and they chomp and they blurg, they always go north. It's so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but I mean they do it.
Mm.
So sure. So like anywhere along this sort of line, just don't go like fucking about and start placing it here, thinking you're doing something really cool and really beneficial because it's actually not. And I
Mhm.
learned that the hard way. It's just how it is. Oh, okay. I didn't notice this at the time. Something I've been doing. When you notice a scenario like this. Oh wait, there's another healer that needs to spawn actually. I mean, if it was me, I'd still do it anyway because I'm a dick. Oh, you
I
tried it.
waited.
You tried it, dude. You
Yeah.
tried it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there another
Yeah.
healer?
I'm trying.
Oh no, I think they're all out. Okay, so
Yeah, they're
that
all
was
out.
good. That's actually good, and it could have worked really nice.
Yeah,
So
but I was too slow.
when you have like a healer here and you have a runner here, and you see this fella go and poison him, around the time when you see him poison him, you can just click. I click load the cannon, and then I move here. I don't like when I mean, I don't try to do this fancy shit where you have a healer here. I don't try to do five-way splits because I guess I just suck. I like to keep it simple
Mhm. Mhm.
because keeping it simple just always works out for me
Yes.
personally. Like when you see him here, as soon as you see him do that fog thing where he
Mhm.
breathes
The
all over
white
the
fog.
healer, like there, that's when I'm
Yeah.
clicking. And then as you're running,
Mhm.
this guy will go here. This guy will go here.
Mhm.
This guy will go here. And then as long as you're not too, if you're too early, you'll like be at the cannon and he doesn't see you. If you're too late, it's like
Yeah.
finding the sweet spot. But you basically want this guy along this line, yeah. And then you
Mhm.
end up with just a simple three-way split. I mean,
Mhm.
it's cool. I mean, in reality, does the healer need to re-poison this healer here? No, not really. He's probably gonna
Mhm.
die. However,
Mhm.
what's wrong with the thing here is like it might look like, oh, you're just being fancy, and I've been saying it before previously, like, Okay, you don't want to be fancy and fanny about because it can go tits up. But in this
Mhm.
scenario, it's not high risk. It's
Mhm.
like low risk in my opinion, because either way, most of the time you split these healers. Like
Mhm.
even if you lose this healer here, which is the most common scenario, you'll move
Mhm.
too late here and you'll lose this guy. It doesn't matter because he's probably gonna die anyway. The main
Mhm.
thing here is splitting these two healers if you get them. So it's low risk. But if you do manage to split all three, it's just a visual thing. It's like
Mhm.
flexing your massive cock, you know. It's not necessary, but sometimes you just do it because you can.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, you try it. Look, it was perfect. The
Mhm.
timing of it was actually perfect. The only thing is you walked like down first. If you actually just clicked on the cannon, or moved here, or just anywhere like in this vicinity, you would have split all three of them.
Mm.
But you moved here first, which for wave 7, you know, when you've got a healer here, you got a healer here, and then one spawns here. You need to
Mhm.
do that just to split them because you want this guy to move down more.
Mhm.
But in that scenario, you don't have to. You can actually just click on the cannon, so it's really
Okay.
nice. It's a shame because you've got these two stacked onto each other, the two main
Mhm.
healers. But oh well, I mean, shit happens. I do it all the fucking time. I really shouldn't. You know, you've been playing BA all fucking day and you're just defending and you have some nonce healer that pushes all your runners and you're just like,
That's how you get
fuck
back at
this
them.
guy, dude. I'm just gonna go for it. If it succeeds and I'm flexing on him, if it doesn't succeed and I stack all the healers, well fuck him anyway. He's bumping my runners. Fuck this idiot. So I think this is like this wave 9 thing you do is some like Hendy thing or a Henky thing or some shit like that. I personally hate it, but it's just me. I mean, if it works for you, then it works for you. Something I want to ask you. So this thing you do on wave 9 for 2142 or 2152 with the blurg, how
Mhm.
often does it work for you? Does it always work for you?
Yes,
So if it always works
it
for you,
always works.
okay, then by all means keep doing it. If
Mm.
that's what you want to do, then by all means keep doing it. I don't do it because I mean
Is it
99%.
that wrong? Is it so wrong from the standard like 2142? You don't blur the fifth one, right? You just multi the fourth one and you just go by your day,
You can
right?
do so in so the thing with oh I'm trying to
Like,
think.
see, like when do I not blur is when the fifth runner goes west.
Yeah, then you're wasting too much
Okay.
time. Yeah. However, in speeds, if you ever get
Mhm.
into them, and probably in funds as well, because it'll still be the same sort of thing. You'll get mains that start duping early.
Mhm.
2142 and then placing a food north is better than 2152. For leeches,
Mhm.
2152 with a blurg is still really good and it's good for spread. However, for funds and especially speeds, you don't want to do that
Mhm.
because you're delaying the last runner from spawning by 6
Mhm.
seconds.
Mhm.
And in speeds, the attacker fucking he dupes as soon as he possibly can. He's not looking for your runners. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Especially when you do stuff like blue egg and stuff like that. Yeah, so you
Yeah.
can't really
Here
see
I
on the
know.
screen, but you can probably see on the mini map. Like you blurg, it's 30 seconds. The time you multi, this runner's not out here, yeah, but
Mhm.
there's still another runner that needs to come out.
Mhm.
You multi at 60, and because still no runners have died, he's still not out. right? In leeches, that's
Mhm.
fine. It won't matter.
Mhm.
But in funds and speeds, sometimes it can matter because they'll dupe with the shrink part, and they won't let you. Like they'll start duping before that runner comes out, and then you just have to go. Oh, there's one more runner, by the way, and then everything goes tits up. And that
Mhm.
always happens if you end up having to do 252 because you get super late runners. Something with when you blurg like this, it's definitely important in funds and speeds. Well, it's a quality of life thing. When you
Mhm.
blurg like this, you repair the trap. You know how before when I said on wave 3, if it's east and south, you can place a food here or here or here.
I was supposed to
You
place a
can
food
you can
there.
do the same whenever you blurg a runner like that.
Right.
And the reason, because it can prevent a hard crash.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. I believe, I don't remember. I think it's if it goes south. If the last runner goes south, and this runner eats at this trap food, then that south runner can hard crash and then walk
Yes.
all the way back. And then on wave 9, sometimes you end up with no main stack because there's so many runners,
Mhm.
and it's a shit
Yeah.
fest.
Mhm.
It's not too easy. It's because placing a food here on wave 9 especially, because if you place 4 trap food and 5 at your main stack on wave 9, then you don't have any food left. So if the third call is the same as the first call, and you placed 4 here and 5 here, then you won't have any food left to place a right food for this runner. So what
Mhm.
I've been doing is for wave 9s I just place 3 food and then 5. And then I
Mhm.
save 1 food for if the third call happens to be the same as the first call food, I have a food to
Mhm.
place here. But placing a food here for the second to last runner when you blurg like that prevents a crash.
Right.
Prevents that. It's a potential crash.
Hmm.
I don't know. When you do the strategy you do, how much food do you place on the trap?
I place um second calls food. I place all of them. I just
And
throw
what about
everything
first
there.
call? Just first call.
For first call, I go four. Main stack four.
You only place 4 food at your main stack.
Yes.
So now that now that I've mentioned it, now that I'm going to say you kind of want to look to place 5 food at your main stack, you're probably going to go like, well, I mean, I rarely ever run into a scenario where with only placing 4 food at the main stack, the runners eat all my main stack. It rarely happens, right? But now that I tell you, you should probably look to place 5 food at your main stack. If you ever place 4 food at your main stack, the runners can sense it and they'll eat all your main stack. Now that you know, now that you're aware of it, it will always fucking happen.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry for
Uh-huh.
cursing you, but now that you know that you should be placing 5 food at your main stack to make it much less likely that all your main stack gets eaten, if you ever place 4, you will get West Runner, West Runner, West Runner. You will just get all the West Runners, they'll eat your main stack, and they'll go, fuck me, it's only because I didn't place 5. It will always happen. It will always happen. And I'm sorry, but it's just how it is. Whenever you learn this information, you're like, oh, well, that's never happened to me before. But then it always happens. It like happens every single fucking time. It's like when you learn about SSS, yeah? When you
Uh-huh.
learn about that block, you're like, well, I've never noticed that before. But then when you learn about it, you're like, it's happening every fucking wave. What's going on? It's crazy. It's weird how it works, but it's how it works. So, all you can actually see here. So you blurred the runner, yeah?
Mhm.
Oh shit! I'm gonna pause. Fucking hell! Wow. My camera's moving so much you can't fucking see shit. You see this runner over here? You can't
Mhm.
really, but he's gone east, yeah? You can see on the mini map.
Mhm.
When this runner that you blurred here eats at the main stack,
That's gonna
this run
crash.
over here will crash. Yeah?
Mhm.
If you place the food south, he won't. Now it doesn't matter because he's east, so only soft crashes. Like he's not gonna go he could move east, west, south, fucking anywhere. He'll still see the trap. But if you went south, it could be a problem. So now that you know that, that's gonna curse you as well. Sadly. Wave 9, by the way, I noticed, I just remembered. This is absolutely hilarious. So you did fine. But this RNG is absolutely hilarious. And you know for a fact, this healer is going, oh my god, this defender doesn't get any lures. This defender gets no lures. And like, if he sees this, you're like, bro, how? How do I get? They've all gone on you. They're following. And you're like, why didn't you get any lures on Wave 9? You're like, bro, are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? You want me to lure these? No, where are they going? Every single one, the only one that stays is the one that's just about to die. It's so hilarious. It's amazing. And this guy's like, oh, this fucking defender. Oh, there's no lures. And you're like, bro, you have no idea.
He actually argued with me about this.
It's
He
crazy.
seriously.
Dude, show him. Show him this video, dude. Show him this fucking timestamp him. This fucking section. It's hilarious. You cannot lure them. All of them went on to him and followed him to dispenser. You cannot lure them. They're gone. Bye bye. You just go, oh well shit, that's not my problem anymore. Like, you're gonna get flamed for it by people that don't know. But because this guy's doesn't play defender. If he had played defender, he might go, okay, they're actually just all aggroed onto me. There's nothing I can do. Wave 10, you play safety food. I never play safety food. And the reason being is because I don't know. I've just never done it on Wave 10. Wave 10, I've never done it, and it's never bitten me in the arse. I don't see, like, unless you actually cock up Wave 10 super, super badly and then get super unlucky, I can't see the safety food ever getting any value. I always stand here. I mean, you even stand there. You wait there. You delay all the way back there. That's scary. Bro, walk here. You're so far away. What are you doing? You can stand here.
Alright.
Like, fuck. Did you DC?
I'm actually delaying it.
Like, shit. You walk past. It's very awkward. Wave 10's very awkward. You gotta place the food like differently to how you usually would. If you placed it like if you place the trail food too early or too late, the fucking runners eat it. It has to be on this tile. It's so annoying. If it's like here or here or here, it can't be in the vicinity. The fuckers just eat it. You actually got to be bang on that tile. It's so cancer. Whatever. Your food placement's nice. All good. And then, I prefer this. I saw, when I first learned it, it said if you have time before the 24
Go
second
get the hammer.
get the hammer, then come back. Me, recently, I'm going, no, don't do that. Always stay at the healer cave. It actually is just better for spread. I swear. I personally think it is just better for spread. And I don't stand on this square either. I stand on the other side. Because it's just even more. It helps you more for spread. If you stand the other side, this healer, if he spawns onto you, he will walk 1 square east to poison you. And that 1 square... Every little helps, dude. Every little helps. because wave 10 can be super fucking terrible. Just any small thing you can do to help with spread is like it does add up. It really does. So like I always get the hammer after logs now, and I always stand here. And even if I
Alright.
notice, say a healer over here, say if I notice this healer aggro onto me at 24 seconds, I'll even run here to de-aggro him and then go logs. But that's risky. I'm confident that because I've done it. I've done it so many times. I'm confident I'll be there in time and back in time. Wave 10's all about having that good spread for that healer. Everything goes nicely. You're back here in time. You let him eat, then you place your food. Now the thing with wave 10, which I've noticed for getting really good lures, is don't fuck about when you're at trap. Fix that shit. Like as soon as you place your food, fix that shit. Don't fuck about. You can even, because sometimes the second and the third runner can auto multi, right? So instead of 4 runners left, you only have 3. Sometimes you won't notice if that's happened or not. Like you won't see, and you'll just out of autopilot you'll place 3 food, but there's only 3 runners left, and then everything's gone tits up. What you can do is you can drop 1 when you get back to trap. Just drop 1 food, and then repair trap. And as you're repairing the trap, count the runners, have a look, and then go, okay, there is 4 left. Then drop you another 2, or if there's only 3, drop 1 more. That's something you can do. You move at a nice time. Now I want you to repair trap now. Right now. As soon as you see the double erg, and you see his goon go, nah, I ain't dying today. I'm gonna eat over here. He's dipping, dude. See you later. As soon as you see that, repair trap now. It's at 1. Perfect. Repair that trap. Bam, now. And then 56.
I'm waiting.
As soon as I see this fella spawn, I know you can wait because you kind of want to get that lure. This guy had late spawns though. He had 48, 54.
Yeah.
The earlier you leave the trap to run off to cannon, the more space you'll create between this healer and this healer. The slower you are, the less of a gap. And when there's less of a gap, it's much harder to split them, and you'll usually stack them. And this particular healer, he doesn't get the ideal reserves all the time. He does get late reserves. He's probably going to want to keep. I mean, this healer's not even poisoned yet. He's definitely gonna want you to keep this guy, and he's also gonna want you to keep this guy, and he's also gonna want you to keep the healer that's just about to spawn. He wants you to keep all of that. Usually, if the healer does the code correctly, you can lose this guy because he doesn't need to repoison him. He'll die in time. But you don't have to like intentionally lose him. You can keep him. I'm not going to mention it. It really doesn't matter. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is the earlier you leave, the better. Now, because the dude had late spawns, he was late restocking, so this guy went on him. So you would have actually had 3 healers. If this guy was... Do you know it's a 3-way split on wave 10?
Yes. But I don't know when to move on to the 3rd spot. Like, is it instantaneously? I know I have to wait for
there's
the second...
There's a few different ways. Tell me, which way do you know?
I know that as soon as the first healer crosses the queen pit, that's when I move to the 2nd spot.
So what you'd be stood like, say like around here on the floor. And then once that healer comes like here, you then like move over here.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. There's I'll see if I can. I wonder if I spin the camera around. I don't. Here, okay, that's nice.
Huh.
So one thing you can do. So if the healer does good, if the healer does fine, and he doesn't need you to keep the 42 spawn, what you can do is
Mhm.
if you've got the 48, which would be this guy, and the
Mhm.
60 spawns, and you grab the 60 over here, what you can do just for a two-way split, you can actually just stand here. Just stand here and
Mhm.
wait. What that will do is it'll put the 48 here. Put the 48 here.
Mhm.
Mm,
And the 60 on the top.
like right next to it. We'll put them right next to
Mhm.
it. Yeah. It's either it's here or here, dude. Fucking one of these squares. I think either of these squares work. But basically, you end up the repoison here, then the unreserved right next to him,
Mhm.
which is really nice. That's really easy to do as well because you don't have to wait or
Mm.
anything. You can just go there.
Mm.
Yeah. The only thing with that
Uh,
is you can't really shoot the cannon. However, a lot of the times
as soon
you
as
don't
he
even need
blocks it,
boots.
that's when I can
Yeah,
shoot it.
sometimes the healers won't even block it though. Like they just won't
Mhm.
block it because
Mhm.
they don't think to stand on top of the repoison to let you go to cannon. They don't think that.
Mm.
So you can either do that or one that's a bit harder is you can stand. Um, shit. You can stand here. Yeah.
Mhm.
So as I think you stand here anyway, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So you know you split them here like that. If you stand
Mhm.
here, and then once the 48 is close enough, you can then move to this spot. What you'll actually do is you'll have the 48 here and the 60 spawn here.
Mhm.
So they're not right next to each other. There's a gap, and what
Mhm.
will happen is the healer will stand in
In
this
between.
gap, and then that will let you go to cannon. And then they can go
Mhm.
like boom, 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 and you can shoot. And it also looks nicer. And that also
Mhm.
works as a three-way split. So if you do have the 42, you can time. If you have the time and you can time it nicely, you can have one here, one here, one here, and it looks
Mhm.
amazing. It looks so good.
Mhm.
We have been talking for so long. I'm hoping you've learnt a few things.
No, I did. Thank you.
Uh, so yeah, there's definitely definitely some things to be said in this. I think it was absolutely hilarious those early waves. But yeah, um,
I'm never gonna use that main stack again.
dude, nah, dude, fucking don't. I have no idea why. Jeez, I'm gonna stop the recording.